Welcome back to The Honesty Project. In our second episode, we are focused on the three questions that are the foundation of the Stories We Tell. In our last interview with Melodie Hilton, we talked about what it means in terms of the Stories We Tell, the name, and how we got there. In this episode, we're going to talk about the three questions that I focus on and that are really the heart of the rest of the model. So welcome, Melodie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for coming up with the Honesty Project. Super pleased.
Yeah, I'm real excited about it too. I look forward to these discussions. I feel energized after them. I'm just going to throw this randomly in there, but unlike some therapy sessions, because I've done therapy in the past, and sometimes from therapy, you just drag out so much dirt and then you just feel terrible afterwards. And I've really left these conversations with an energy and a real positive focus on what my next steps are to I don't want to say correct issues that I'm having with my personality, but definitely to give me tools to handle the quirks of human nature, of which I roll in that surf all the time. So thanks, for starting this, and again, I'm really enjoying these conversations and talking about what this tool is.
Cool. Well, thank you. That's what I want more than anything else is for people to have the benefit of this model for wherever. We talked about the last time, whether it be your affirmations, your Christianity, your meditation. This model helps with all of that, and it helps put things in perspective. I'm in therapy now. I know that this helps me to have a better, more comprehensive understanding of the things that I'm trying to work through, and a way to look at them that serves me. And I tell you, in all honesty, if this goes the way that I would like it to go, this is something that therapists would use. It makes so much sense to have a standard model of that is absolutely a layman's model of human behavior. And I think that's the thing that fascinates me, is that, you get to take this model and apply it to any situation, any social situation or personal situation, and walk away with more clarity about what's going on, don't you?
Not only more clarity, but that energy that comes from having a situation be, I hate to use some of the words that come to mind are not out of control, but it's not a controlling thing, more positive, but it's not, focusing on, or changing it to be a rosy glow. It's just really something that is a word that you use frequently, very authentic, and serves all parties sort of in the communication. And it doesn't sort of put wrappers on us that say, well, this was bad and this is what you need to do to be good. It really looks at human nature as what it is, and then gives us the opportunity to drive those aspects of our nature down the road that we would like to, which is better relationships, more deeply honest and authentic, if not with other people, with ourselves. So
yeah, and I think that that's a really, really good point. This is not about making behaviors. This is not about denying different parts of reality. It's about understanding that reality is what it is, and finding stories, especially in the places that you struggle with, to tell stories that serve you. How can I tell a story that serves me about politics that are happening right now? How can I put COVID into perspective? What are the things that are good? What's bad? But how do I walk away serving myself as opposed to torturing myself because the politics are wrong, or we're in this pandemic and oh my God. And there can be some really crappy stuff that happens. People are losing people, and you can still put this in a perspective that serves you without denying the negative stuff and without being all fluffy, positive. And that is what I'm trying to accomplish. So really, it's a great point from the standpoint of, we're not trying to change anybody else, anything else, but how we perceive what's going on around us. And if we can do that, holy crap, that's a tall order that serves us in such a fabulous way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
3 questions. Want to talk about them?
I do.
Okay, so the first one is, what's the story I'm telling in this moment? And typically, when we have the time to ask that question is when we're responding to a situation in a way that doesn't serve us. That's typically when we want that question to come up. When things are going great and you're having a great time and you're appreciative, kind of what the story I'm telling doesn't really matter because it's a good one. We just know that we're in a place that's authentic, that feels centered, that feels grounded, like we're just engaged, life is good. So we don't tend to ask that question. But when we're in a situation that we don't like, whether it's a work situation where I'm upset with a coworker, upset with the boss, I'm at home and my kids just won't do what they're supposed to do, or my spouse just, what is she thinking? Those are the times to ask the question, what's the story I'm telling about this situation? And
I'm going to add one. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
This is one I bring up all the time. That time between sleep, when we turn everything off, that's when my stories really start to ramble around in my head too. So
it's a really great point. And typically when it's quiet and we're not focused on anything else, those are the time that crappy stories come up too, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've put all my distractions away, all the things that, engage that sort of top level of consciousness. And then when I'm silent.
Put all my distractions away. I'm writing that one down. And at some level, those distractions, putting them away, is also what this is designed to do. Like, it's designed to ask the question in a way that separates me from my in-the-moment feelings, which typically, if they're stories that don't serve you, don't feel good, or they feel really good, and that's a whole nother thing that we'll get to. But when I'm in a place where I'm having thoughts that don't serve me, the biggest question that I can answer or ask is, what is the story I'm telling? And the reason this is so important is, and the reason we put in the stories we tell as kind of the title of this is, I want people to go, oh my God, the story I'm telling right now, it's not serving me. Like, break us from, a lot of spiritual stuff talks about being in the moment. And I think I mentioned it last time, but this is about taking us out of the thinking that isn't serving us, which means we're not present in the moment. We're kind of hog-tied by the moment, and creating space so that what I have the ability to do is to answer the next question, which is this story serving me in this moment? In this moment, in this moment, in this moment. It's the most important part, because you can beat yourself up all day long about how you told stories that didn't serve you in the past and that sort of thing. And until you get to this moment and address the story that's on the table right now, those ones don't tend to be fixable when it's about the same thing. But when I can start to create that space again, does this story serve me? Well, wait a minute. And we know, that's the thing that just blows my mind is, we all know, even on the positive side, everything is great. We know if it's authentic or not, don't we? It's like the guy that we talked about, that you told the story about, who, I live I live in this moment. I don't look at the past. I don't look at the present. And you're like, oh my God, this guy does not feel in the least bit authentic to me. But what he's doing is things that he thinks will serve him without the ability to live those things. And there's a big difference, isn't there?
Oh, huge, huge. And I think, unfortunately, one of the other things I said was he lost some aspects of his character that made him interesting in a way because, oh, well, what do you, even a simple question like, oh, what are you looking forward to for the new year? Would
Well, Melody, I'm not looking to the new year. I'm in the moment. But thanks for asking.
And
you're like, what?
you would stop and think, and you'd be like, okay, I get that that is actually what you're supposed to be doing, but there was a lack of color in his character, I think, eventually that ended up showing through.
I think it's one of the downsides of some of the spirituality right now, especially around Eckhart Tolle, where, his message is, I think, really good about being in the moment. His book is The Power of Now, and it's a great book, and really, in many ways, the start of what I was, in many ways, the start of this model. But one of the things he talks about is how we're hogtied by the past and the future, which is true. But I think a lot of people walk away thinking, well, I just need to focus on the now and not look to the future and not look at the past. And I just don't think that's the message that he intends. And it's certainly not a message that puts us in a place where we're like, oh, okay, I will just disregard those things and I will be in the moment happy. And you're like, it's not working, dude. It is. You don't believe you. And I know I don't believe you, and I can see it clearly. And so, and I mean, there are going to be some times that we misjudge these things and that sort of thing. But in general, when we look at it and say, is this story serving me in this moment? I just know. There's a woman by the name of Byron Katie, and I don't know if you're familiar with her. She has a thing that she calls the work. And what she talks to people about is, if you didn't have this crappy feeling, let's say I'm telling a story that doesn't serve me, my kids are driving me crazy. If you didn't have that story in this moment, how would you feel? And every single person, maybe a little help, knows that they would be okay. Like, there are so many, and I'm not articulating it well, but there are so many things that we just know of, hey, if I didn't have that feeling, I'd be in a way better place. Just knowing that is huge. And so anyway, is this story serving me in the moment is the second question. And each one of these is designed to help us to create space between that stimulus of, oh my God, boss, child, wife, stories in the evening, and saying, what's the story I'm telling? Is it serving me in this moment? And I create space just by asking those questions. And